Explain what you think is the best way for someone to wash their hands in detail.
Yeah, and so I notice all the same things you do. We're doing it way too quick. We're haphazard. So the thing we have to think about is primarily our palms, because these are and the tips of our fingers. These are the areas that we, even when we're trying our best, are touching our face and our eyes and other things. But the way we wash our hands is, we wet our hands. And then we get the soap on there. And once you get a good lather going, now you can start doing the 20 seconds. Now you can start singing happy birthday full out twice. That's kind of like the timer method, just singing it twice. But you really have to get your whole hand in the crevices, under the fingernails to be helpful. And what I'm also recommend, and then after you do that, that's when you wash your hands off with warm water. One of the things.
So let me stop you right there, because I think this is where people are really getting kind of confused on this. So what I'm hearing you say is, when you put the soap on, you should be lathering like this, correct?
Yeah.
For 20 seconds. Not what I'm seeing people do is they're taking the soap, they go like this, and then they put it right under the water, and then they're leaving it under the water for 20 seconds. Am I right when I say you need to be scrubbing it for
20 seconds
and getting under your fingernails? My fingernails, I had cut them completely down, and my fingernails grow so fast. But I think another big one is literally getting your nails down and just having no nails right now.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea to cut them back. And I think the point is so well taken, is you definitely need to be soaping for 20 seconds, and then we're rinsing. Now, here's a place where a lot of people run into trouble too, is you just touch the sink to turn it on. Now you're going to go touch the sink with your clean hand, but the sink is dirty.
Oh, yes.
So one of the things that we all learn how to do, like when you're in surgery and residency and stuff, is we either need to use like a clean towel or a disposable towel to turn the sink off. And so a lot of times what you'll see is we are going to waste a little extra water here. Especially this is most important in public, where you can't keep the sink clean in between as well, and you don't know who's touched it. Go get your paper towels, dry your hands off, then turn off the sink if it's not on a timer. Same thing with the doors to the restroom in public. I mean, I'm washing my hands when I go in and on my way out, because I don't know who's touched the door and I don't want to contaminate myself in public. So, and then when you're leaving, after you clean your hands, you can certainly use a paper towel to grab the door handle and go.
Right. Now let's talk about that, because how important is it to use a paper towel? Because obviously when you walk into a public restroom, a lot of times they are reducing the amount of times that they have paper towels, and they have either air dryers or jet dryers. So how important do you think it is to actually use the paper towel?
I think at this point, a lot of it has to do with the exposure risk. What is the concentration of the coronavirus in your area? And so you have to make a decision about that. This is a place where I've been telling people the secondary thing is use our alcohol-based hand sanitizers, right? But I've been telling people to not use as much, because the more you use it, the more the alcohol dries your hands out and breaks down that protective barrier. But this is a time where if you don't have access to that, it would be a good idea to use your alcohol-based hand sanitizer. The problem that we're running into is that the coronavirus is spread through respiratory droplets, which is just a fancy way of saying if you cough or sneeze, all that moisture and droplets of water that come out and mucus that come out of your mouth get on a table, you can touch it, you can put it on a door handle. And so studies have shown that the coronavirus can live for a few hours, upwards of 3 or 4 days on a lot of these surfaces. So the harder the surface and the more plasticky it is, the longer it tends to be viable as an infectious organism. So that's really where we do need to do a little bit more if we're in our public areas. And if we're at home, and we know who's around, and we can clean these areas, once or twice a day and not spaz out as much maybe as we might in public.